6 years, Bob Foster would reign as the light heavyweight champion of the world. In his prime, this welterweight, called the Cobra, was considered to be boxing's best pound-for-pound fighter. Now a former champ, Donald Curry had suffered only one defeat before meeting Mike McCallum for the junior middleweight crown. In round 2, Curry was en route to his second title. But 3 rounds later, it was the Cobra who would be struck. It just goes to show that even tigers and cobras can fall victim to a single punch.
In boxing, 1 minute you can be a champion, and in 1 second, this can all change with one punch. Robinson was definitely a stylish fighter, and I was definitely a crude type fighter. Well, the first fight I had with Robinson, I beat him 15 rounds and never had a mark on me. That's the only fight I ever remember, never had a mark on me. After the decision, everyone accepted the fact that I had beat him and beat him soundly, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be the last fight. I was very anxious to give him a return match and prove that what I'd done the first fight, I could do again the second fight.
Robinson lost so infrequently, he very seldom ever lost a fight, that there was always a cry for a rematch. When Robinson lost, nobody believed it, and they said, let's see if you can do it again.
4 months later, the rematch was scheduled, as the former champ would attempt to regain the middleweight title for the 4th time. The 37-year-old Robinson was...
You form a relationship with somebody that is based on trust and mutual respect and caring and all of these things.
Homer had won the first fight because nobody was ever 3-1 over Ray Robinson. That was the only time in his whole career that he probably was an underdog.
But the odds could have no effect on this fight's outcome.
After beating him the first fight, I felt that maybe if I put even a little more pressure on him than I did the first time, then I could maybe knock him out, because I was putting pressure on him and keeping him busy the whole time and making him worry about what I was going to do to him rather than what he was going to do to me. I think Robinson's best puncher was anyone he hit you with. And he could hit you and hurt you with any punch he threw. The first 4 rounds, I was putting more pressure on him, and he seemed to be wielding, and everything seemed to be working according to the plan that we had scheduled, which probably gave me a little false security that everything was going right, and I was putting a little more pressure on him and maybe getting a little reckless in doing what I was doing.
This recklessness had the manager in his corner quite concerned.
He was swinging as hard as he could swing, but when he was swinging, he was coming out with his chin open. And I cautioned him every time. I'd say, Gene, it's okay to swing, but keep that one hand up if you're going to swing. Keep one hand anyway up. Don't have both hands down. The 5th round, the bell rang. They both come out to the center of the ring, start fighting. You could tell that Robinson figured that was his round. This is the round he's going to go at. He was definitely trying to get one shot in there. He was trying to set up Gene so he'd get one shot.
About midway in the 5th round, I wasn't watching my hands quite as well as I was. I moved in with my right hand about 6 inches lower than what it should have been, and he slipped the left hook right over the top of it and caught me right on the chin, and then all at once...
AT&T Digital PocketNet service, the only way to get access to the wireless internet without using any of your calling plan minutes.
I never felt a thing. I didn't know what had happened at all until I stood up in the end of the round, and the Robinson was over in the corner jumping up and down, and I thought that he's in marvelous condition for this late round. How come he's doing exercise between rounds? And my manager crawled in. I said, what happened? He said, they counted 10. And I knew that it had to be on me because I hadn't heard any of it. And it was a crazy feeling, but it was over.
Because Sugar Ray Robinson was a master boxer and could finish a fight with one punch and had great heart and courage as well, most experts have viewed him as the greatest of all fighters pound for pound. Do you agree?
Well, as being one of the greatest, I agree, but to be number one, I think that right only belongs to Muhammad Ali.
That surprises me a little, Mike. First of all, because you're a slugger. It's sort of like Billy Crystal saying Arnold Schwarzenegger is the funniest guy he knows. Why Muhammad Ali?
Because of reasons of he's 70 pounds heavier than Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah?
Much faster than Sugar Ray Robinson.
Faster.
And also a masterful boxer that has everything that goes along with being a great champion, besides the punch, the courage, the character, and all-around technical ring gentlemanship. And just from that point of view, you have to rank him among the greatest. And if he has you hurt, he will finish you.
Have you ever thought of what it would be like for Mike Tyson to go against Muhammad Ali?
I never thought of the situation.
Never once?
Never.
Even a little bit?
Never. Because in my mind, I believe I'm the greatest fighter in the world. And I can't relate to nothing unless it's reality. If there's something about, if it could ever happen, if Ali was around now, then I could relate more so. But as far as me dwelling to the past, how I would have done with Ali, then you have to take Ali when he's 20 and put me when I'm 20, and then we'll be evenly matched, and then let us fight each other.
Sounds like you think you might have come out okay. Of all the knockouts, one-punch knockouts, brutal knockouts, the comeback knockout is often the most dramatic. A triumphant climax to a lost cause. What a story. Or to paraphrase Yogi Berra, you're not out until they count you out.
In the most dramatic knockouts, one man falls to the canvas. But not every knockdown is a knockout. In this contest, light heavyweight champion Archie Moore fought to stay on his feet, fending off a game challenge by Canadian fisherman Yvon Durrell. Moore was being punished mercilessly, and following a second knockdown, seemed hardly able to survive the first round. The beating continued as Durrell connected again in the fifth. Moore was down, but not out. As the challenger began to fade, Moore rose to the occasion, sending Durrell crashing to the canvas in the seventh, and again in the 10th round. Although saved by the bell, there was little doubt that Durrell would fall. The champion punctuated his triumphant comeback with a final blow. He later boasted, "This was my finest out." One of boxing's leading authorities on the knockout punch was Rocky Marciano. With an incredible string of 37 knockout victories, he had earned the right to challenge Jersey Joe Walcott for the heavyweight title. In superb condition, Rocky was surprised when Walcott, 10 years his senior, charged out in the opening round and caught Marciano with a perfectly timed left hook, putting the 2-to-1 favored challenger down for the first time in his career. The bombs continued, every punch intended to end the bout. Rocky was having trouble seeing from a liniment that rubbed off Walcott's gloves as Jersey Joe pounded away. His vision clearing by the 13th. Marciano rebounded when Walcott loaded up a right hand. But Rock delivered first. A crushing right to the jaw crumpled the champion and wrote a new name in the heavyweight book, Rocky Marciano, the Brockton blockbuster. Jake LaMotta may have forgotten about the record book because Laurendo Teal took a decision in their first bout just a few months before LaMotta won the middleweight championship. In this rematch, Teal, a solid boxer puncher, jogged the champ's memory, sagging him against the ropes as his title waned. The Frenchman needed only to remain standing to become the next champion, but unwisely moved in for the kill as LaMotta opened up, unleashing amazing reserves. Then, a devastating left and a right flush to the jaw sent the challenger reeling. With just 13 seconds left, LaMotta had rallied back from certain defeat to retain his crown. In a rare modern attempt to unify the welterweight championships, Thomas Hearns met Ray Leonard in a seesaw battle.